Hello and welcome to this, our first Sharp Practice AWI Army Showcase videos. What we like about Sharp Practice is that it allows you to build forces in, say, the horse and musket period from the rulebook itself. It's got from the French Indian Wars all the way through to the American Civil War. But you can build a game forces for anything in between, and allows you to dip your toe into something you may not want to go full on into something. For argument's sake, Napoleonics. If you didn't really want to build a large Napoleonic army in various scales, you could then create the sort of stories of Sharp and that in the peninsula with his chosen men and a few of the others of the South Essex, all charging around Portugal and Spain and that up against the ever sort of the pantomime villain is his Major Duco. So you could create all sort of forces and narrative storylines and that around that. And anything from 30 to sort of like 60 figures will get you in and get you started straight away. So a great entry point into playing the game of Sharp Practice. Now the AWI has always been a keen interest of mine, and the force you see in front of you are all Wargames Foundry miniatures. Now what I like about the Wargames Foundry miniatures, again designed by the Perry brothers many years ago, they still stand the test of time, and when you match them up against some of the Perry miniatures of today, there's not a lot of difference in the design, sculpting, and when we come on to the Continentals and that, you will sort of see that. But to the naked eye on the Wargames table 3 foot away, you don't see it. And to be honest with you, I actually quite like that, because it shows the sort of disparity in that of humans. We are all different shapes and sizes and everything else. So that to me I think is really, really cool. It is the British Regulars force, as you'll see on screen, of 1775. This is the list from the rule book. Now, I'm not one for points or anything like that, and I know there is some disparities in that in the lists in the rule book, and I think Rich has put together what was a sharpulator, what they call it, sort of a calculator. You can work out the points and that, and there are some disparities. But as I said, I'm not one for points. I just liked this sort of force composition because it leads on to something that I want to use this force for, and more on that in a bit. So without further ado, let's get into the force. So first up then, we have the British Regulars, 3 groups of British Regulars of 8 figures, 1, 2 and 3, and in front of them being led by a status 3 leader. Now this could be a captain, major, colonel, whatever, but I think if he was going to be a higher level, I would have him mounted, which is what I'm going to be coming on to doing next. I will add sort of other leaders and types and that into this force, but I've got him down there as sort of like a captain, a status 3 leader in this sort of scale, and he's leading these 3 groups of British Regulars. I think again really, really nice miniatures. So I'll pick one up there so you can sort of see. As I said, these were painted some time ago. And I said really, really nice, all painted with Vallejo paints at the time. I think it's some Citadel as well. And as I said, sort of based them up and that recently, and that sort of, these are all on 20mm bases, and I quite like. I'll tell you what I'm going to do like to do in now, and that's lighter bases. I think with a lighter base, when you look at the miniatures and that, it really highlights the figure. It's just a personal choice, as I said. Let's get this leader up here. The miniatures themselves are based on the regulars on the back there in the sabot trays are on 20mm or 1 penny, or these are actually on 1 penny MDF bases, so 1 penny piece. You can put 20mm, not too far away. And obviously the sabot trays to match. And the leaders I've put on 25mm round MDF bases. Again, just so they stand out just a little bit on the tabletop. So again, I know they're not in the sabots, but it just represents them on the tabletop, and they are sort of the key characters and that you see on the table for your units. So next up then, we have the 2 more groups of British Regulars, with obviously armed with muskets, same as the previous unit, and these are being led by a status 2 leader. So again, this could be a lieutenant leading this force and or this unit, and he's very, very good in the rules. The status 3 is status 4 is the best leader, status 3 is very good, status 2 is good leaders, and status 1s are your sort of junior NCOs and that. Again, you normally sort of see those either leading groups of skirmishers or as subordinates to a status 2 or 3 leader in the main units. Now again, these Grenadiers and that I do like. really, really nice. Again, paint that really well. Again, I said these were done years ago, many years ago. Just never got around to basting them. Sort of funny in that when you're going through and you're doing some tidying up and that, and you sort of find things and that in your boxes and that, you think, oh, I forgot about that. I've done that loads of times recently. Sort of gone through things and thought, oh, right, okay. So there. The breeches and that, what we've done, if I remember at the time, we did them sort of like an off-white, sort of like a grey, and just built them up with an off-white. I can't remember what it is now. Is it ivory? Vallejo ivory? Something like that. It didn't ring a bell at the time. So that allows the cross straps, cross belts, and that to sort of stand out a little bit more. Sort of painted them more sort of like you say pure white on the top there. Yeah. So that's two groups of regulars as done as Grenadiers. So I think they're going to be really, really nice and really cool. So, and last of all, we have for this basic force, we have the light infantry skirmishers being led there by a status 1 leader. Now these are quite nice figures. Again, this figure here was part of the line command pack, the Centre Company command pack that the Foundry does. I just sort of put them in there because they didn't do a separate command variation for those at the time. Or I think it was I had to buy a pack just for one figure. I can't remember off the top of my head now, but I thought I'd just chuck him in, look and see what's what, and it'd be all right. But yeah, these are really nice miniatures. Again, for something that was designed many years ago, as I said, they got some lovely sculpts. They're nicely proportioned. Yeah, really nice. Do like them. Again, on their 20mm round base or 1 penny piece bases, or 1 pence piece bases. There we go. Into their skirmishing sabot trays. Sabot trays and the bases all from war bases. So yeah, that's really, really cool. That's the light infantry skirmishers. Now I mentioned at the start there was an inspiration behind building this force, and no game wouldn't be complete without having civilians. So the inspiration behind this force comes from watching the TV series by AMC, which was called Turn Washington Spies. Now you can get it on DVD or say Blu-ray, or you can get it through Amazon Prime, and it is a very, very good series. So if you're into the period, it is a very good series. 4 seasons or 4 series, and there's loads of episodes in each season. And again, it's a great story, and it's based on historical fact of the Culper spy ring, and there is a few characters in there which it's typical TV shows to put bums on seats to watch things. They manipulate and change history slightly, but it all adds to the actual series. But the undertone, what's going on around it, is based on an actual historical fact. So this is some of our civilians that we're going to be using for this Culper spy ring, or the setting of where it's set in. So it's set in Setauket, and we think that again these figures and that would represent some of the characters from the show and also from history. So again, these are really, really quite nice. There's there. I mean, this one here could be like the magistrate from the show. Really, really cool. Nice. These characters, these miniatures are really nice and characterful, and I like the children, and that's really nice. Getting up to mischief. So yeah, that's where the idea comes from. So again, you can really create some really nice sort of stories and settings and that for your games, and trying to sort of like have a infiltrate a spy network and things like that's going on, and yeah, it's really, really nice. I do like it. So yeah, really nice miniatures, just basic painted really, and washed and just based up. This one's a nice one. I do like this one. There we are. Yeah, it's nice. Nice animation and that on the figure. Next up probably will be a unit of Queen's Rangers to add into this force, and what else am I going to want? I might get an artillery piece to add in, yeah, but yeah, more on that in a later date. But you'll see updates on that to this force, so it will grow, but it'll just be odd units added to it at the time. But there you have it then, guys. That is the British Army Showcase for Sharp Practice with the added civilians and that, which can be used for either side or just as characters, as I said, in the games themselves. We hope you like what you've seen so far. We are putting together the Continental Army Showcase video. That's all the miniatures are all done. We're going to put the video together and that will be out next. So keep an eye on the channel for when that comes on. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications, and then you'll be notified when that video goes live. Well, that's it. I say a huge thank you to everyone who's watching this video, subscribing to the channel, and that we really do appreciate all your support. And don't forget to check out our Facebook page in the link in the description in the video below. So until next time, guys, keep your projects coming. They are an inspiration. We do love watching them. We do like and comment where we can. And again, keep up the great work. Until next time, happy wargaming.